Good afternoon. In my opinion, spirituality is freedom, and it's not something I just dabble in. So when people um, have opinions about how serious I am, well, you're damn right I am fucking serious about it. It's not something I just want to use as an interest. I realize our situation. If you don't understand or don't know, you can watch my videos, The Solution and The Plan. Those are a plan and a solution to our problem. But long term, I also work on other things that are related to that in order um, to do better at what I do or what we do. So I'm always working on something. I'm always working towards something. That's why I've developed membership for people that are serious, not for dabblers, not for people that want to just work part time on something or, who have an interest. It's not a hobby. It's not anything like that. For people that are serious. If you're not serious, it's not for you. I can tell you right off the bat. You know, that's just the way things work for me. I spent all this time, decades working on this, and I decided, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago to get really serious about it. And that's when I jumped in with both feet. And that's when I started working hardcore on it. I decided this is the time, and I'm not the type of person to dabble into something. I go both feet in, full bore. And if that's not something you're willing to do, then that's not for you. I'm not a dabbler. I'm a full throttle type of person. So what I wanted to do is propose that, as well as talk about how important our situation is. Physically, there's always going to be uh, all these shiny objects and all these paths we're going to be led on physically. You're always going to have that. You're always going to have this trauma. You're always going to have the problems. You're always going to have this. It's part of that whole bubble, the bubble that you live within, your limitations and everything, what you've accepted. Now, when you're looking internally, that's that's where the real fight is. That's where the psychological operation is working. It's working on the physical too, but it's working on you to get you to think that you don't have any more power than what you have as just a person, a physical person. Doesn't want to let you know that you are more than a physical body. You're not the physical vehicle, you're the driver, your conscious energy. You have a lot more available. But if you don't look in, you're never going to find it. If you're not looking for answers within, then you're looking in the wrong place. Nobody's going to just hand you answers. I'm here to make information available to help you on your journey, on your path, maybe to light a spark under your ass, light a fire to get you moving. Because we all have to be productive. We all have to be working towards that goal. We all have to have the drive. Like I said, this is not a part time job at McDonald's. This is a full time job of freedom. If you want to be free, if you want to work towards your freedom, then the only way to do it is to jump in with both feet. Like I said, it's not an interest and it's not a hobby. This is real the shit. This is what it is. I'm not trying to be this guru. I'm not trying to be anything. I'm a person just like you are, no different. We all have the same abilities, but some of us are more in tune with what our knowledge base and what we know. So it makes it a little bit easier to understand. So, but you also learn over time is the more you know, the more you realize you don't know. And that's kind of the dichotomy of what goes on here. You learn more, then you feel like instead of going one step forward, you've gone 100 steps back. So yeah, moving forward is also moving in reverse. So that kind of works that way. Not saying I know everything, but I'm willing to work with other people in order to come to conclusions, because two, three, four, five, six heads are better than one. When you're working together as a team, sometimes it works out a little bit better, or you can see things from different perspectives. That's the whole point behind that, of working together. And that's why I say, if you're not totally committed, don't worry about it. It's not for you. Because I've spent a lot of time over the past decades really working hard and diligently and trying to figure out things so that I can help others on their path, or in their path, or however it is. But like I said, nobody can give you the answers. You have to find these answers for yourself. And all the answers are covered in layers and layers of lies. So, you've got this whole, and in the bottom is the truth. But layered over it, and many, many, many layers over that, are going to be lies, convenient lies, because they're easy to understand, they're easy to accept. Oh, they kind of fit the bill. For the people that are just looking for a surface level answer, they're like, "Oh, that's good enough. Yeah, I can accept that. It makes sense." That's why so many people that are feeding everybody bullshit are making a fortune, because people are buying into their stories because it's convenient. People want easy. They don't want to work for anything. That's the reality of the situation. I'm not making anything up, you know. And um, I've played the devil's advocate, and the devil's advocate is it makes it so easy to understand how gullible we are and how lazy we are. And when I say we, I include myself, because I know and understand what's going on, and I can see it from both sides to a certain um, degree, because I've been able to see that. So when I see it from that other perspective, then I have to swallow my pride or whatever ego and understand that I'm right there in the mix. But it also, by seeing my own weakness, I can learn from that and understand it. So in a way, in a big way, I respect the other side. I respect the ones creating this, because I understand their level of commitment, because it's not on our side. If you're going to go against an enemy that's fully committed and you're kind of half-assed, it's never going to work. You have to be as committed or more committed than the ones you're going up against, because they're all in 100%. What are we? 3%, 2%, 4%, even 5 or 10%. It's no comparison. So you have to be cognizant of what's going on in the game. You have to understand the game, you have to understand the platform, and you have to understand your enemy. And the ability to respect your enemy means that you understand them enough to um, to really delve deep into why we're not as committed as them, because they're that good at their job, they're that good at the game, they're that good at what they do, and we got to be better. And the only way you're going to get better is not only having a solution and a plan, but also building upon that and working on it, because that's what they're doing. They've done the work, and they're doing the work on a constant basis. So you can't eliminate them by just thinking, oh, well, they're just, they've already figured it out. Well, at that point, you're downgrading yourself. You have to go by the plan, but also improve on the plan constantly and look at it from different perspectives. That's why we need more than one head. That one perspective will give you a certain degree of understanding, but once you add more perspectives, then you start to have a bigger picture of what your possibilities are. And also, I tell people to think unconventionally, not conventionally like we normally do in our daily life. When you think unconventionally, then you begin to open up new avenues from which to draw from. And that's what I'm looking for. That's the whole purpose behind this. I wanted to get to the meat, to get to the bone. You got to really get through everything, and you got to get the people who are committed. Not the, you know, a little bit of interest or just hobbies or whatever. I need people that are committed. And if you're not willing to commit, like I said, it's your choice, but it's not for you.